This week, Christian Petracca plays his 200th AFL game. From weighing up footy and basketball to a busted knee before he even debuted, to a Norm Smith, a flag, multiple Australians, multiple best and fairest, we're going to look back at Christian Petracca's unreal journey. I want to put it to the viewers, where does Petracca rank amongst all-time demons? As a 16-year-old, Christian was highly talented across both football and basketball codes, making the under-18 Eastern Rangers side and also the state side for basketball. Eventually, he chose football, and 2 years later, he was one of the hottest prospects in the draft. Everyone knew who Christian Petracca was. He came across as very arrogant and potentially slightly childish in his early days, but he tore it up for Vic Metro, won the Lark medal, and looked like a man amongst boys. When the Saints took Paddy McCartan at pick 1 in the 2014 draft, it made the Melbourne Recruiters' job pretty easy at pick 2.
Pick 2, Melbourne.
Player number 214953, Christian Petracca, Eastern Rangers, Beverly Hills Junior Football Club.
But the hype train hits a wall pretty fast. In the 2015 pre-season, Christian Petracca tore his ACL during a training session and the hype was put on hold. And then he injures his toe playing a pickup game of basketball in the 2016 pre-season and only debuts later in the year. And straight away, you could see the talent, you could see the potential, the burst, the power, the don't argues. He's got all the attributes to be the next Dusty, he just doesn't have the tank to perform at a consistent level. He took a little bit longer than the likes of Angus Brayshaw and Clayton Oliver to come on, but each season he progressed, and just because Melbourne had a really poor 2019 season, it goes under the radar how good Christian Petracca was. He was our leading goal kicker, and I know that wasn't a massive achievement in that season. Then 2020 came, and so did the emergence of a bona fide superstar. Track was dominant in almost every game that season, highlighted by a 4-goal performance in the NT against St Kilda, where he kicked the sealer in a 1v3 inside 50. He ended the season with an equal third-place Brownlow medal finish, a maiden All-Australian blazer, and also his first Keith Bluey Truscott trophy. And from there, Christian Petracca was the Melbourne Demons poster boy. In 2021, Christian Petracca took his game to a new level as the D's broke their 57-year premiership drought. Averaging a career-high 29 disposals and a tick over a goal, Petracca owned the stage on multiple occasions and arguably took the mantle off Dustin Martin in round 6 as the game's most impactful player when he collected 38 disposals and a goal and took home the Frank Checker Hughes medal as the D's announced themselves as a premiership threat. He was dominant and consistent throughout the year, but it was the 2021 final series where Christian Petracca's legacy would be ensconced at the top amongst the very best. Just to put it into stats, he accumulated 35 score involvements, 5 goals, and 101 disposals, taking home the Norm Smith medal on grand final day, playing a massive, in fact, probably the most important part in turning that game around when the D's were down by 19 points. I will say it's undoubtedly one of the greatest grand final performances in the AFL era. And I don't think many would disagree with me there. In 2022, Track continued his form. He picked up his 3rd consecutive All-Australian blazer. Unfortunately, he had that hairline fracture in the qualifying final, which kind of derailed his influence in those 2 games. I want to ask the question to the viewers as well. What do you think Petracca's best season is? Because I think it was his next season in 2023, where Petracca was probably him and Bont that were the 2 best players in the game. And I say that because he was missing his fellow superstar midfielder, Clayton Oliver, for 12 weeks of the season. He had to lead the D's in the midfield, but also go into the forward line and hit the scoreboard regularly. When the D's forward line was chopping and changing and we didn't have many reliable options down in the forward 50, Petracca was exactly that. Aside from his goal kicking, he did kick back-to-back 4-goal hauls against the Saints and Brisbane late in that season too. By season's end, Petracca collected his 4th consecutive All-Australian jacket, the only player from 2020 to 2024 to do this. And I think what also gets lost is his incredible durability. Before the injury last year, he played 145 consecutive games. The first half of 2024 looked like much of the same from Christian until disaster at the end of the first quarter against Collingwood on King's birthday. 4 broken ribs, punctured lung, ruptured spleen, and Petracca has been open about the physical and mental toll that he has had to endure. But what ensues is an extended period of silence and rumours that Petracca wants out. Whatever the truth and real story was, I think we can all say that the conversations that Track had with the Melbourne leaders ultimately was for the betterment of the football club and for the betterment of the standards at this club. I think it's going under the radar how impressive he still has been, given what he's gone through. He's still averaging 26 touches and a goal each game. We do know that he has to clean up his disposal, especially going inside forward 50. What we also know is that Track is the ultimate professional. And amongst all the brand Petracca, I think we can say that at 29 years old, Petracca has a lot of good footy in front of him. And if he can stay healthy, we're going to be talking about a legend of the football club when all is said and done for Melbourne's number 5.